Welcome back to the Black and Gold Report right here on LCN. Hillary Domingue, Richard Watkins, Kurt Fake. We'll take a look at the rest of the NFL now, and let's start with the NFC East. And this thing is completely topsy-turvy. I mean, you have the Dallas Cowboys on the bottom, and you got the Redskins on top.
I see nothing in the NFC East. The Giants kind of righted the ship a little bit, but I don't see much in that division at all, Kurt.
I really don't. And like I said, it's not good to be a Texas sports fan, that's for sure.
No.
The Cowboys are hurting right now. The Redskins leading that division along with the Giants and the Eagles. They're all at 3-2. The Cowboys at 1-3 so far this season. In the West, the Cardinals 3-2 after beating the Saints. Seattle and the Rams are behind them, and then the 49ers, who most people pick to win the division, are 0-5.
I agree, and that division could be won with an 8-18.
Yes.
You know, somebody with an 8-8 record can get in, but that's another weak division.
Yeah, some people, the owners of the 49ers, are saying, you know, we can still win this division, and some people think that's crazy. Well, it's not. They win 8 out of their last 11. They could win that division.
They just got to win one game. If they could just win one game, I would have a lot more faith in them because they haven't won a game yet. But if they can win that division, more power to them. They're not going anywhere.
And they sticking with Alex Smith. Was that an important call?
Yeah, it was.
Okay,
No,
just got to make sure. In the North,
Vegas.
in the NFC, yeah, Vegas, they don't want me, believe me. You got the Bears leading at 4-1, the Packers at 3-2.
Well, the Bears, I think we all agree, are not as good as they made out to be. When they played on Monday night, they got killed. But the Packers are the team that doesn't impress me that much. They lost to the Redskins this weekend. Rodgers may be out with a concussion. I'm not that impressed, which also I forgot to say in the first segment, gives me hope for the Saints.
That's it.
There's no
The
dominant NFC team.
Yeah.
at
Even
this
the
point.
ones that they said would be, they said Rodgers has turned into, he's a fantasy quarterback dream.
Right.
But he's killing them in the fourth quarter.
That's exactly right.
And I don't know if that's going to change. The more you watch this guy, if you can stay close to the Packers, he's going to make a mistake or they'll force something or whatever, and they are getting really beat in the fourth quarter. And the quarterback's the key to that. And this
right.
was the next best. You know, he was the great.
I saw that
quarterback coming
I
out,
saw
yeah.
that stat rather. His statistics in the fourth quarter are horrible.
Right.
Absolutely horrible. As opposed to Drew Brees, who threw his first interception in the fourth quarter last week in 26 games.
Correct.
That's it.
So that tells you
And
how
that's
he
what
finishes ball
separates.
games.
You know, that's what separates 12-4 and 8-8. That fourth quarter. You know, because it's not coaching, it's players.
Yep.
You know, it's who's in charge, and like
it's
I
mainly
said,
quarterbacks.
And unfortunately, like it or not, it usually is the quarterback.
And we
That's
have
right.
to talk about the bottom of that division. Detroit picks up their first win, and the Vikings are 1-3.
Yeah, that's right. The Lions beat who they beat. They beat somebody
They beat the
bad.
Rams.
The
Beat the
Rams.
Rams,
They beat
yeah.
them bad. I think a lot of people thought the Rams coming on, but the Lions are a good young team.
Right.
So it's going to be tough to get cheap wins in that division. So
It
the Vikings have their work cut out to make the playoffs.
That's right. Critical game this week, which we'll talk about later. Vikings and Dallas playing in Minnesota.
That's two desperate ball clubs.
Right. And in the NFC South with the Saints, the Falcons on top at 4-1. The Buccaneers 3-1. The Saints 3-2. And Falcons still looking good.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the Buccaneers are for real. The Falcons played Cleveland, beat them 20-10. I watched some of that game. The Falcons aren't as good as I thought they would be. But it's making the pundits look good, which I don't like.
They like.
I want the Saints to win that division. I don't want the stinking Falcons. I hate them. I still hate them.
And that's why you can't let wins like teams. You know, this is the part of the schedule where the Saints can make hay, and though they definitely could be in the. What I'm afraid of is this is where you go. These losses will cost you the home field advantage, which we all know is the key in the playoffs. Will the Saints make the playoffs? Yes. I definitely believe that. But hopefully, a loss like that to Arizona does not cost us, you know, the difference between getting home field in the first round or that kind of stuff.
Yep,
you know?
that's right. Let's move to the AFC. In the East, the Jets, after the horrible game they had week 1, have just rolled over people. I mean, Vikings came back and made it close in the second half, but the Jets are playing really good football.
Yeah, the Jets have. And the only problem I have with the Jets, they have trouble scoring touchdowns.
Yeah.
They dominated the first half, and they were leading 9-0.
Right.
Minnesota woke up late in that game, made a game out of it,
Right.
and Favre ended up throwing that pick. But, I mean, I don't like the Jets either, so I'm a little biased about it, but I think they're probably the best football team in the AFC right now.
The Patriots are 3-1 right behind them. Dolphins at 2-2. Bills are horrible. In the West, Kansas City suffered their first loss of the year at Indy, but they played the Colts very well.
They did. Another tough. And the Chiefs may be the surprise team in the AFC. You know, somebody always goes 4-12 and 12-4. Not saying the Chiefs will win 12, but they may hang in there and start believing and catch fire, and that may be the surprise team in the AFC.
The Chargers are going to have a tough time catching them. They spotted them a 2-3 game lead. And I'm going to watch the Chiefs play the Colts, and they look pretty good. They look pretty good. Good
And
football team.
The Raiders, Broncos, and Chargers are all 2-3. Chargers a surprising disappointment, but they never start off good.
Right,
they got the rotten starts.
And I don't know how they do that, but they manage to do it every single year.
And they manage to turn it around most every year.
They do.
The best team with the Jets in the AFC are the Baltimore Ravens. 4-1, a half-game lead on the Steelers.
And if Flacco keeps playing well offensively, that's going to be a tough team to beat. I think it all hinges on him.
Yeah.
And they ended up beating the Steelers without Roethlisberger, but Flacco looked good in that game. And they got a great defense. So the Ravens, I think, are for real.
They are.
Bengals are disappointing. Browns are miserable at quarterback. Jake is hurt. Seneca Wallace is hurt. The Browns are going to start Colt McCoy this week.
Yep.
Yeah, who's that? Mangini.
Bad.
Eric
bad.
Mangini.
Can we get a line? Can we get a line on that?
We got a line.
Okay.
We got a line on that game. And in the South, the Texans, after losing, not just losing, getting whipped by the Giants last week, they're down to 3-2, tied with all the other teams in the division. The Texans, Jags, Titans, and Colts, all 3-2.
The Colts are the team that surprised me the most, but once again, I'm not selling Peyton. I'm not writing Peyton off yet.
No.
Peyton's tough, and but I think the Texans are back down to reality. They started off with a bang. That's going to be a tough division all the way through. I really believe that. I think the Jaguars are not a bad team. They gave Buffalo. They lost in Buffalo, but they beat the Colts the week before.
And I think is the other teams have missed a great chance to set
They
some
beat
distance,
Bills, by the way.
to distance themselves from the Colts. How seeing Manning 3-2,
Right. That's a good
that's
point.
going to come back to haunt them because I think the Colts will.
Absolutely.
They will put together a streak of 5 or 6.
Yeah,
in
the
a
Jags beat
Jags
Buffalo.
beat
Yeah, they kept
Buffalo.
Buffalo
Jags
at
beat
0-5.
Buffalo,
Right,
36-26 on that one. Okay, that's it for the rest of the breakdown of the NFL. When we come back, it's our favorite part of the show, even though we haven't been doing really well.
Toughest part of the show.
I can speak for
It's very
myself.
tough.
The
Yeah, speak
toughest
for yourself.
part. Our pick segment is next up,
And maybe he'll get one right.
maybe, on the Black and Gold Report.
You got to pick a winner.